You already know that feeling. You get into bed, you pull the covers up, you close your eyes, and then nothing. Your brain just turns on like a machine that refuses to shut down. You start replaying conversations from earlier in the day. You start thinking about tomorrow. You start wondering why you even bother trying to sleep when sleep clearly does not want you back. And the longer you lie there, the more frustrated you get, and the more frustrated you get, the more awake you feel. It is a cycle that feels completely inescapable. And here is the painful part. That exhaustion you feel the next morning is not just physical, it seeps into everything. Your patience wears thin by 10 in the morning. Your focus disappears by noon. You reach for caffeine like it is a lifeline. You get through the day, but you are not really living it. You are surviving it. And deep down you know that this is not how things are supposed to feel. Researchers at Harvard Medical School have spent decades studying what actually happens to the human body when sleep is consistently disrupted. The findings are staggering. Chronic poor sleep has been directly linked to increased cortisol levels, impaired memory consolidation, weakened immune response, and even accelerated cellular aging. That foggy, heavy, defeated feeling you wake up with is not weakness, it is biology. And biology can be changed. Now before we go further, if you already know that you need more than just tips and you are ready for a real structured approach to transforming your sleep and your daily energy, we have related programs linked down below in the video description. Spots fill up fast, and the people who act quickly are always the ones who see results the fastest. If you are the type of person who waits, this might not be for you. But if you are the type who moves when something feels right, that link is right there waiting for you. Now let us talk about what is actually happening when you cannot sleep. Most people think sleep is passive. You just close your eyes and drift off. But your nervous system does not work that way. By the time evening arrives, most people have been in a low-grade stress response for most of the day. Emails, deadlines, decisions, noise, screens. All of it keeps your sympathetic nervous system activated. That is the fight or flight side of your nervous system. And then you expect your body to just switch off the moment your head hits the pillow. That is like pressing the brakes on a car doing 100 kilometers an hour and expecting it to stop instantly. It does not work that way. What actually works is something researchers call sleep pressure and circadian alignment. Sleep pressure is the biological drive that builds up throughout the day the longer you stay awake. And your circadian rhythm is your internal clock that tells your body when it is time to wind down. The most effective night routines are built on working with these two systems, not against them. Here's the first thing. Light is the most powerful signal your brain uses to understand what time it is. When blue light from your phone or television hits your retinas in the evening, it tells your brain it is still daytime. Your brain then suppresses melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that initiates the sleep cascade in your body. Studies published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology found that just 2 hours of screen exposure in the evening can delay melatonin onset by up to 3 hours. 3 hours. That is not a minor inconvenience. That is your entire night shifted. So the first step is dimming the lights and reducing screen exposure at least 90 minutes before bed. This alone has helped thousands of people cut their time to fall asleep from 45 minutes down to under 15. You do not need a fancy gadget, you just need to understand that your eyes are the remote control to your sleep switch. The second step is temperature. Your core body temperature needs to drop by about 1 to 1.5 degrees Celsius for you to fall asleep. This is not a preference, it is a physiological requirement. Neuroscientist Dr. Matthew Walker has documented this extensively. A cooler room, somewhere between 15 and 19 degrees Celsius, dramatically accelerates the rate at which your core temperature falls. A warm shower or bath about 90 minutes before bed actually helps by drawing blood to the surface of your skin, which paradoxically accelerates heat loss and cools your core faster. People who implement just this temperature strategy alone report falling asleep in under 20 minutes consistently when it used to take them over an hour. That is not a small shift. That is an hour of your life given back to you every single night. Over a year, that is over 360 hours, 15 full days, just from managing your bedroom temperature. The third step is where most people go completely wrong, and it is the one that makes everything else work or fall apart. It is your mental wind down. Your brain cannot go from full speed to sleep mode without a transition. Think of it as a runway. Planes do not just stop in mid-air, they need a runway to land. Your mind needs the same thing. The most powerful tool here is something called cognitive offloading. Before bed, you take 5 to 10 minutes to write down everything that is sitting unfinished in your mind. Not to solve it, just to get it out of your head and onto paper. Neuroscientists at Baylor University conducted a study that found that people who wrote a to-do list for the following day before bed fell asleep significantly faster than those who journaled about what they had already accomplished. The act of externalizing your thoughts signals to your brain that it does not need to keep processing and recycling them through the night. It is like telling your mind that you have saved the file. You can stop running it now. Here is where it gets even more interesting. Breathwork is one of the most underused and scientifically supported tools for switching your nervous system from sympathetic to parasympathetic mode. The parasympathetic mode is what your body needs to be in to fall asleep, a simple technique that physiologists refer to as cyclic sighing, which involves a double inhale through the nose followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth, has been shown in Stanford research to be the single most effective real-time stress reduction method compared to other breathing and mindfulness techniques. Just 5 minutes of this before bed can reduce physiological arousal rapidly. 5 minutes. That is all. The people who have completely turned their sleep around did not do it by trying harder. They did it by understanding their biology and building a simple, consistent environment that supported it. And every single thing we have talked about today is free. It requires no supplements. It requires no expensive equipment. It just requires that you understand how your own body works and that you choose to work with it instead of against it. Now there is a bigger picture here. When your sleep is right, your entire life starts to reorganize itself. Your mood stabilizes. Your cravings decrease. Your decision-making sharpens. Your relationships improve because you are not operating from a place of quiet desperation anymore. You show up differently. People notice. You notice. Sleep is not a luxury. It is the foundation that every other area of your health and performance is built on. The research on this is overwhelming. Athletes who prioritize sleep show a 41% improvement in sprint speed. Cognitive performance on complex tasks improves by up to 30% after just 2 nights of proper sleep. These are not small margins. These are life-changing differences that come from something that should be happening naturally every single night. If you have been living with disrupted sleep for months or years, you know exactly what it has been costing you. Not just in energy, but in missed moments, in potential you could not access, in the version of yourself that was always just slightly out of reach because you were too exhausted to get there. That is why the programs linked below in the video description exist. They were created specifically for people who are done just managing and are ready to genuinely transform. The people who are clicking that link right now are the ones who recognize that waiting costs more than acting. Every night you spend staring at the ceiling is a night you do not get back. The link is below. The decision is yours. Make it tonight.